Viva Mark! We have finally returned after pretty much a month and a half of nothing. I blame Marcus completely.
That makes sense.
It's all Marcus's fault.
I'd say this is
It
probably
wasn't all your fault. It was partially your fault.
This is 50-50. First of all, I moved. So I moved from one house to another, and that kind of threw my life into a little bit of a tailspin with things like not having internet for a while and trying to unpack my life. Trevor, what happened with you in the last month and a half?
I had pneumonia. Yeah. So I had pneumonia, and it was I was in the hospital for a week, and then I just didn't feel right for probably a month, actually.
Was it walking pneumonia?
No, it was straight pneumonia.
Oh, I think that's the worst type of pneumonia.
I think so. I mean, unless there's a super pneumonia out there.
Since you've had pneumonia, how good at spelling pneumonia are you now?
I'm an expert.
Yeah, you can spell it pretty well now. You've had to text it how many times?
Yes, like 87 approximately.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
It's that P, man. It throws everybody off.
It's that middle part, like I'm bad at spelling pneumonia. You know what else I'm really bad at spelling is nauseous.
It's because I think the U's are throwing you off, man.
It really is. Nauseous is another one that I'm really terrible at spelling.
Maybe we just need to make sure you're never spelling words with U's in them.
Well, or I don't get sick, because if I don't get nauseous or have pneumonia, there's no real reason for me ever to spell them.
It's true. That's true.
So I just got to stay healthy.
So we're gonna put you in a bubble.
Do I get like the big room bubble or like the Jake Gyllenhaal walking bubble?
Oh, you get the Jake Gyllenhaal walking bubble.
That's a terrible movie, except it had the trailer had the song from New Radicals, the Get What You Give, and I really like that track. It's a great album too. I recommend people pick up the New Radicals.
and their new album,
Wow, they only made one album.
So it's their newest album.
It's the newest album they've put out. Greg Alexander was the main guy before. He actually famously started writing songs after that for Rod Stewart and Santana. He actually wrote that Santana and Michelle Branch song.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. But it was very popular. I
didn't even know they did a song, so that's how in touch I am. So
it was like in 2001 or something.
The last collaboration I remember with Santana was Rob Thomas for Matchbox 20. So,
well, there you go. It was a successful venture for those guys. I think they won some Grammys.
Yeah, definitely.
Game of Love. That was the name of the song by Michelle Branch and Santana. Look it up. Good track. I think they won some Grammys. Grammys
happened.
Yeah, so I think that was about over a decade ago, though. So let's go even further back, Trevor.
Bro, we're gonna go back all the way back to 1993.
Whoa, the Wayback Machine.
1993 to episode number 8 of Monday Night Raw.
Trev, do you remember the Wayback Machine?
I do.
Wow, I thought you might be a little young for the Wayback Machine. Though I think you're really close to my age, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just a couple years apart.
Yeah, and I always think you're way younger.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the wrestling business. Everybody else that we work with is 22 and 24.
Yeah.
We're the old people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, we both came in later in life, and that's really that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's not very common.
No. All right, so 1993, episode 8.
Episode 8, brother.
We're on the road to WrestleMania, aren't we here?
Road to WrestleMania 9. The greatest WrestleMania that should have never happened.
I think it's WrestleMania 9 is probably in my top 31 WrestleManias. What about you?
I agree with you there.
I think so.
At this moment, it is in my top 31.
Yeah, I would say it's in there. I would venture to say it's probably in my top 30.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Go
I
back and
don't
watch some of
know.
those. Go back and watch some of those. It might be in your top 30.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched WrestleMania several times. When I was a kid, I had the OG WrestleMania box set.
Oh, the VHS set.
Yes, I still have it actually.
Do you even have a VCR?
Somewhere in my closet.
Is it a straight VCR or is it a VCR DVD combo?
This is a straight VCR.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's just how I roll.
Wow. Those are epically old.
And I also have a bunch of VHS tapes of WWE pay-per-views from like 1999 to
Mm-hmm.
2001.
We have a bunch of my buddy Sam, or people in the wrestling might know him. Jack Pollock has a huge wrestling tape library of like VHSs. And we would go on road trips, and Chris LaRusso used to have a van before the van died, and we would all pile in it. And the van had a VCR in it that you could watch. We would put on like one of our favorite ones to watch was 97's or was that 98? 97's Calgary Stampede.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
July '97. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a favorite. So
it's a good one.
I'm familiar with the VHS. Anyway, so we're back in 93.
Back in '93, back when VHS was relevant.
Yeah, we call
Coliseum home video.
we got Road to WrestleMania 9. We've set up a lot of the matches already. Now, we haven't done this in a while, so I forget everything that happened. So on the way, let's try it. We'll try and I'm sure we'll get a WrestleMania recap in here, a WrestleMania report.
Yeah, we'll have a WrestleMania report. It'll Todd will be here, or Mean Gene, whoever's here at this point.
Gene does them. So, all right, Trev, you want to get this kicked off? We want to get this going. I'm excited now. I haven't watched a '93 Raw in a month and a half.
Yeah,
so I'm
it's
like
been too long.
I got the DTS.
All right, let's start this right now.
Oh, and we start with Hogan.
Start out the best way.
Hogan started out screaming at the camera, making sure that you realize that it's 1988. By the way, can I point out real quick that the whole point of this feud that we're having now, I'm remembering now, was Beefcake got smashed in the face, right?
Yes.
And it was disfigured.
Yes.
Looks fine.
He's completely not disfigured right now.
He looks completely fine. There's no reason for this feud.
Might I point out that Hulk Hogan did say Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall during the beginning of his promo?
Yeah, sometimes I think Hogan, by 93, had just completely run out of ideas and was just like, let's go for it.
Do it.
Like, why is he punching? Okay. He's miming.
Punching him.
He's miming. Well, that's how Hogan actually punches. So.
Oh, that's true. He's pretending he's Money Inc.
Well, Hogan like constantly overly flexing and stuff too.
Oh yeah. At this, I mean, you can tell he's not on the roids anymore.
Did Beefcake say the word ape hangers? I saw that in the subtitles.
Quite hear it correctly. So
he's talking a lot about Malibu and Venice Beach and stuff like that. He's not really from there. Boy, this is a really
but he's supposed to be from there.
Yeah. People complain about Raw starting out with really long promos. 1993 wasn't much better here.
No.
This is
You got a surprise.
Oh, from New York. Oh, jeez.
Oh man, they totally ripped off SNL.
Wow.
All right, we're here for Monday Night Raw or Saturday Night Raw, or I don't know. Stuff happened.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 93. It's the first 8 episodes. Well, let's give it a pass, kind of.
Yeah, we can forgive them.
I don't know about you, but recently, and we can talk about this as we're doing some intros here with Rob Bartlett wearing a full suit for some reason. And
trying to be classy for once, I guess.
Rob Bartlett kind of looks like Paul Heyman there a little bit.
He really does.
He looks like WrestleMania Paul Heyman. That's like what Heyman would wear in like 2001.
Yeah. Yeah,
In
it
fact,
is.
that might be exactly what Paul Heyman wears at
He did it.
WrestleMania.
He did it in honor of Rob Bartlett.
Yeah. That might
It was the
specifically
Easter
be.
egg that no one knew about.
Yeah, that would be beautiful if it was. Someone remember that and then go watch WrestleMania 17 when Heyman did commentary and find out if that's exactly what he was wearing. Because it looked,
Macho Man is color coordinated here.
yeah, it was a lot of black and white. I think that's the
Apparently,
same tuxedo Vince wears every show,
I
though.
was going to say Vince didn't get the memo when it was red bow tie.
Oh boy,
Oh man,
this is going to be a match.
Virgil, um, whom I've unfortunately met before.
We all have met him.
Y'all have.
He's
Um,
he's local.
but you know what? Hey, he trained Randy Orton. So
Yeah, that's
if you're to believe what he says,
he says a lot of things, and he may be clinically insane. Who are they going to have a tag team match with? Oh, the champs.
big tag team of the hour.
Now this is not for the titles.
Definitely. I mean, they wouldn't put the titles on the line against Virgil.
No,
He obviously made that mistake once before.
Specifically, this close to WrestleMania.
Definitely not.
Now we're going to do another promo. IRS always would do this, and I don't know if this was him or if this was a like Vince thing. If Vince was like, every time you come out to cut a promo, or if he just did it himself. Wow, that Asian guy has a crazy mullet. Sorry, I cut myself off because that Asian mullet was.
Because you saw the mullet of the hour.
That was insane. All right, so tag team match here.
Best professional wrestling mullet is now that Asian dude.
Dude, that guy was insane on his mullet. Boy, lively crowd tonight too.
And this is New York crowd is into it.
Yeah, a lot of flicking offs and
like, well, we're gonna have some real stars wrestling tonight. Let's do this. We have Virgil here.
Virgil pumped the crowd up, man.
It's the pinstripes, man.
He got him. What? I don't know why he thought those were good tights.
I don't know. He looks like a pirate.
Was Virgil actually friends with those guys, you think?
I can't imagine he really was. I don't know. He rode their coattails a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know if he was actually like they hung out with him after the show. Like probably Scott Norton did, but no one really wanted to hang out with Scott Norton.
Yeah, that's true. Although, Colt Cabana just had him recently on a podcast, and it was pretty good.
Scott Flash Norton?
Yeah.
I love Scott Norton.
Awesome.
I'll have to listen to that because I actually really like Scott Norton, and his time in Japan is actually really interesting.
Yeah, he seemed like a really cool guy, actually.
Yeah, I actually really like him a lot. When I used to watch WCW in the mid to late 90s, in that like 96 to 99 run, I always really liked Scott Norton. He was a heel there, but I always really liked his stuff.
I always did too, actually.
By the way, this is a main event probably 5 years earlier.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Tito Santana at this point, unfortunately,
same with Ted DiBiase. But in '88, this was a main event.
Oh, definitely.
So this is 5 years earlier. I mean, these two guys, DiBiase and Tito probably worked who knows how many times together.
And with DiBiase and Virgil.
You know, I really never watched is the era, and even now, I have the ability to go back and watch it because I have the network and we can watch everything. But the era of DiBiase versus Virgil, that whole era I don't care for.
I've seen a lot of that because I used to go to my local Blockbuster and local Farmore when that was still a thing. And I would rent any wrestling video that they had.
Yeah.
Because I was just, at 10 years old, I was addicted to anything I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that stuff, a lot of the old pay-per-views and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was like 94? Or I'm sorry, 91, 92?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe even a little before that, maybe 90. But
Yeah, I like that era. I would say from like WrestleMania 3 to about WrestleMania, not about this era. It's just like it's a real blank spot for me in wrestling. That
of
very
course,
late 80s into the very early 90s.
there was some good stuff during that time. It's
Oh, I'm sure there is.
and
It's just for some reason I've never had the interest, and it's just become this like dark spot.
my dark spot is like 2004,
Okay,
probably like 2007, maybe.
really, that's like my perfect time.
And I mean, it's just like I think it just got to a point where I just don't remember a lot of stuff. Like I watched it
Yeah.
here and there, but I
Well,
didn't.
there's a lot of content. The 2004 to 2007 was the content era. We'll call that.
Yeah,
Where Raw was, 3 hours sometimes. Um, you had SmackDown, you had Sunday night shows. There was just so much content during that time that it was hard to keep up. But like, no, that's because I graduated high school in 2002, and I was back in college, and that's when I really got into it. And 2004 was WrestleMania 20,
yeah.
and that
See,
was
like I
and
watched.
I went to WrestleMania 20, and so like I was heavy into that stuff around that era.
Yeah, I watched 20. I mean, I watched through 20, and I watched through like Benoit losing the title, and then I
Yeah.
lost interest.
Oh, that happens. I have a real dark spot in like 2001 to about 2003. Like WrestleMania 17 is a real dark spot for me.
Which is crazy because that's one of the best ones.
Yeah, like it was so hot for so long there, and quite honestly, I was in high school and I just started dating girls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, so let's real quick. I want to talk about this tag match because we've just been talking about us and wrestling in general. I really, really like this tag match, by the way. I really, really like the shine of Virgil and Santana getting the shine on of these fake tags. Like they're basically running heat as a shine of constantly, drawing DiBiase in, not making the tags, and um, you know, separating the referee and things like that from the action. Then basically they just ran a heel heat as their babyface shine, and the crowd absolutely loved it. I
This
gotta
is a
say,
really good crowd in the
yeah,
Manhattan Center.
this crowd was really, really hot for this, and they really, really liked that shine. And I just can't remember. I'm sure guys have done that before, but I just can't remember seeing it. That I thought was really inventive the first time I saw it, and really, really liked it. I mean, it's a different way for Money Inc. To run this match. As a pretty dominant tag team of this era.
There were a lot of tag teams in this era, but they don't really get showcased too much on Raw. I mean, you see the Steiners a bit.
Yeah, you see the Steiners a bit. You'll see the Head Shrinkers not until later.
Yeah.
Um,
Like at this very point in time, there's just not like there are a lot of tag teams, but it feels like there's not.
yeah, I mean, you have the Beverly Brothers. I'm trying to think of the other.
Nasty Boys.
Oh, Virgil was not ready for that move, by the way. He did not think Irwin was going to bump like that.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to come out and do that. I think he told him, maybe he said come out, and Irwin just didn't hear him. Yeah, Nasty Boys were still there. Beverly Brothers, you had the Steiners, you had Money Inc. I'm trying to think. There's a decent amount of tags. It's not as it gets after 9.
Yeah.
It gets, the tag division actually gets really, really heavy and really good. That's such a quick finish too, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
I wasn't expecting it there actually.
that was Shyster's finish, wasn't it? The right off the back suplex.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
he did
Yeah.
like the Boss Man style slam, I think. I can't remember actually. Doesn't really matter. Oh, that guy just grabbed his face, man.
And that was the '80s. DiBiase would have turned around and punched him in the mouth.
Yeah, dude, you would have hit him with a glove. That's an inside joke, and if you don't know it, read or listen to our Royal Rumble commentary. This is from Superstars here. Tatanka and Shawn Michaels.
Picking him up.
Now, this is getting Tatanka the tag title shot, isn't it?
Intercontinental.
Or Intercontinental. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's the Beverly Brothers.
That's the opening match for WrestleMania 8 or WrestleMania 9 rather.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, Shawn Michaels was in the opening match of WrestleMania 7, 8, and 9.
He was a great opening match guy. Well, Shawn was great on any part of the card, but he really was a great opening match guy.
He knew he'd start the night off right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shawn worked a little bit of a quicker style this era as well. That would open your show really, really good. So yeah, they're setting that up. I get it. Never a big Tatanka fan, but whatever.
Woman is very 90s.
Well, talking about real 90s, Rick Martel, man.
Dude, I don't know, man. I loved Rick Martel.
I've always been a huge Rick Martel fan, I gotta say. I loved this gimmick. He was really, really good at it.
Yeah, he was.
God, is it 8 with him and Jake? Is that WrestleMania 8?
I think that was WrestleMania 6.
Or is that 6?
It was 6.
I get fuzzy in that era. The stuff he was doing with Jake the Snake was amazing. He was so good. He's just so naturally unlikable in his face and how smart he is. Like, he's just so good.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm such a huge Martel fan, and he's anytime you watch him in the ring, he can make anyone look like $1 million.
Yeah, this is Todd.
Oh yeah, Todd Pettengill. Ugh.
WWF Mania.
This is post Rat Tail Todd Pettengill.
So he has better hair.
Yeah.
But he's not any more entertaining.
No, not at all. Todd Pettengill was one of the least entertaining people WWF has ever employed.
He's very cheesy. He's very much like, he's very radio DJ, which is what he was.
Well, yeah, and it was like, it was that era as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they still have Rob Bartlett there, so radio at this time was still very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And the show Mania and Raw were getting a little hokier. And so I don't know if that was just Todd being Todd or if Vince liked that and wanted that.
Yeah, Vince was like, "Ham it up, Todd."
Yeah, if that's what he really wanted, I'm not really sure. Just flat out, I mean, you have to be in the room because sometimes Vince is incredibly stupid. By the way, you know how I know Tatanka doesn't know how to wrestle? That spot right there. Okay? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Tatanka shoots him into the ropes, right? Why does he drop down? Why he has the advantage, and he's going to do a drop down and a leap and 2 leapfrogs.
Yeah, that seems like you're doing some unnecessary movement here.
Exactly.
How did we go from like Rick Martel to like fat version of Rick Martel? Like it's like they did a switcheroo.
Who is this guy?
It's Fat Martel. Like, because he has the same haircut.
He really does.
Like it literally looks like they replaced Rick Martel with a fat guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this episode is where Martel just keeps coming out and replacing the ring women, and I don't think he wrestles at all on the show.
Yeah, I don't think.
Big power slam. This match is over. Again, I just want to point out, if you are in wrestling and you're shooting a guy in, why are you dropping down? Don't do it. It's stupid.
Wearing yourself out for no reason.
You have the advantage. Why would you do a drop down? Now, if you're taking a shoulder block and you're laying on the mat and the guy runs, yeah, do a drop down. You're already on the mat. But why would you throw yourself down on the mat on a drop down or a leapfrog? Those are defensive moves. A drop down and a leapfrog are defensive moves. You are shooting a guy off the ropes. You have the offense. Hit him. All right, I'm done complaining.
And, of course he's some sort of native something, so his head doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of native. You could be a native Samoan. You could be a Native American.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a native, like, you apparently have a hard head automatically.
And his comeback, too, when he just, like, runs around you, I always laugh because the guy taking it has no idea where to go. Ever.
Yeah,
like, he's just like, where am I going? Where am I facing? What are you doing?
Like, shut up. Just wait for me to chop you.
And a Samoan drop. That's your finish. You're not even Samoan. Did he have a name for it?
End of the trail or something. I can't. I'm trying to. He did. There literally was a name for it.
Because this was he wrestled in an era where guys didn't really name their finishers all that much.
They did have a name, but I know it had something to do with trail. I'm pretty sure, but I just don't remember exactly what it was called.
Yeah, because like Savage just hit the elbow drop, and Hogan hit the leg drop, and there wasn't a whole lot of like you're in wrestling. Yeah, end of the trail.
Papoose that what it was?
Papoose to go also, or the Renegade drop.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, end of the trail.
Oh man!
Here we go. Here we go.
WrestleMania report. Or maybe we could get classy and call it the WrestleMania report.
I really loved Stephen Colbert.
Rest in peace, Colbert.
I'm excited for him to take.
Not dead.
This show is. All right, so what do we got? Sunday, April 4th. We're coming up on it. I think we're 3 weeks out here at this point.
Yeah, 3 weeks out.
That's good news.
Gene here.
They're really pushing this tag match
as a double main event.
It really isn't.
Well, because it has Hulk Hogan. It has Hulk Hogan. It's a double main event.
Hogan has to be in the main event. It's just
because remember at WrestleMania 8 they did the same thing. Hogan and Sid wasn't even the title match, and it was the last match.
Hogan is Hogan, and
they should have honestly ended WrestleMania with Savage and Flair.
Yeah, trust me, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
About Hogan being Hogan. We already know about this match. I'm pretty aware of Brett and Yoko.
Oh yeah. Not every match they had together was great. The actual match itself, I would say.
What's that?
The actual match itself, I would say.
I'm not a huge fan of their match at 10. I think that's Brett's weakest match. I just don't like that match at 10. I don't like the finish. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think this match they have is better. And I think this match the one at 9 is shorter even.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like the match at 10 too, but
I just didn't like 10. I don't know why. I really didn't like the finish that Yoko liked. The finish is him just slipping on rope. Like that really bothers me. Because I just like it doesn't make Brett look, but it makes Brett look weak.
Yeah, I can see what you mean there.
Yeah, I'm just happen to not be a fan of it. It doesn't mean it's a bad match. It's really just personal preference. But for this era, I don't think two guys could sell a match as well as these guys could, as far as the size differential, everything that they do up to that match. They do a really, really great job.
Definitely.
Especially like going into 10, which was a huge, huge pay-per-view for WWF at the time. It was the 10th anniversary of WrestleMania. I mean, to put Brett and Yoko in that main event says a lot about the work that those guys did for a very, very long time.
Overall, it was a pretty great WrestleMania.
10 is actually pretty good. I will stand by 10. It's a pretty good. It's actually really good.
They needed it after 9.
Yeah, 9 is a real weak. 8 is pretty weak from what I remember. 11 is really weak.
7 had, I guess I would say the undercard was weak. The other stuff wasn't necessarily, but
yeah, this is an era for me that where the undercard wasn't as developed as it should have been, and so it lacks. I think 9 also lacks, like this Taker Giant Gonzalez match. We're watching this Taker promo here. Really lacks as a match, and I think this has a hindsight ability where you watch other Taker WrestleMania matches, and then you watch this, and it's just not a great match for him.
Well, you watch any early Taker WrestleMania matches, they're not good. They're not real good, I should say.
No.
I mean, some of them are okay, but him and Snuka was okay, but it wasn't great.
And then 9, this one's not very good, and then 10 wasn't
at 10.
Oh, that's right. He was off for 10 because he did the Royal Rumble thing.
Yeah.
And then 11 is him and Bundy, which isn't very good.
Yeah.
And then 12, him and Nash is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's about 12 where he starts to come into his own. Because 12 is good. 13 with him and Sid is not bad. Then 14 is him and Kane. I used to remember all of these, but I don't need to go. Yeah, I don't need to go through all. That was a Hell in a Cell, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't need to go through all of them. But the weakest one still, obviously, is that handicap match from 19 with A-Train and Big Show. It's just a horrible match. Anyway, but I think 9 suffers from that. Taker not being, having a good match. Shawn wrestles Tatanka and not a very, very good match. The undercard just isn't where it should be, which is crazy to say because by 10, the undercard is really, really developed.
I would agree with you there. And here comes Papa Shango.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, you see a lot of guys like Papa Shango and things like that not around. The work rate goes up considerably.
Because they were going from the old era of gimmicks. Yeah. There were still a lot of gimmicks and more to come, but they were starting with the new generation, and at least the guys going for titles were the better workers, like the Bretts, the Razors, the Shawn Michaels.
Well, and the guys they did have in the gimmicks at that era, and we'll use Papa Shango as an example here. While this gimmick is a little cartoony and a little out there, Papa Shango is a good wrestler.
Yeah, and that's why they bring him back in a couple years as Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine.
Yeah, and he burns down the Undertaker's urn and makes a necklace.
Yeah.
I would actually say, a lot of people say that his best run is as the Godfather. But to me,
it's probably his most popular run.
Yeah, I think his best run as a character was as Kama Mustafa in the Nation of Domination. I really thought he brought a lot to the Nation that people just don't give him credit for.
I can see that.
I really did. I really liked
to rewatch all that stuff. Actually,
yeah, I really liked his stuff in the Nation as especially the stuff later with when Rock and Farouk were feuding and stuff like that. He played a real pivotal role, and I think he did a really great job. Now, The Godfather was just an over-the-top character, but The Godfather didn't work. He did his couple moves, and that was the end.
Yeah, he did the Ho Train, and then
his work rate didn't have to be. It was a little more character-driven. I thought he had significantly better matches in that run, but he was also working with guys that were so much better. Just the roster of that era is phenomenal. But that's a huge belt buckle on that referee. Can I point that out? Look at that belt buckle.
I don't even remember that referee.
He's new.
Wonder how long he lasts, because like I really don't remember that referee at all.
This might have been his first night when he got backstage and Vince told him to take the goddamn belt buckle off.
And he's like, no. Then Vince is like, you're fired.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Oh, jeez. Do you have pneumonia again, Trevor?
I still have a little bit of a cough.
It's gross.
It's just a little bit. It's way not as bad as it has been. So other than that, I'm 100%.
That was a headbutt to the groin, but we'll just pass by on that. I guess it's the lower abdomen.
Papa Shango is just beating the crap out of like a dude that looks like a
whoa. What is this? Is this a shoulder breaker? Is that what his finish was?
Yeah, I think so.
That was a good shoulder breaker.
Yeah, it was. That a lot of impact there.
Yeah, like to me, I never really liked the shoulder breaker because it always looks so weak. Like it just like
that looks strong right there. Yeah,
it was a really great shoulder break. It was a move that like you never really wanted to actually like hit hard because you're jamming the guy's shoulder, but it always looks so weak to me that I just never enjoyed it. Scott Norton did it. Let's go back to Scott Norton. He actually did it pretty well. Papa Shango did a good one there.
That's because Scott Norton was a powerhouse, man.
He really was.
Like to do a good shoulder breaker, you have to have a lot of strength.
Yeah,
or be put up against opponents who are smaller than you.
Yeah,
I think that's the situation we saw here. It was a dude that was smaller than him.
Also,
strength made it look good.
Yeah, also Papa Shango doesn't give a fuck about that guy.
Oh yeah,
that guy's there specifically to make him look good. So fuck him. If he gets hurt on it, fuck him. Like they don't care. Like that was kind of the job. What Bob Backlund, man.
Here's the return, like the Bob Backlund run out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it still doesn't have music. Tony DeMoro. We see this guy a lot, actually. Like, Tony DeMoro, like, as you watch it, regular job guy. Tell you what, as a job guy, pretty good. Didn't see him like fuck up a lot. Great physique.
Yeah, he does have a good physique. He doesn't look like a jobber. That's
no. The fact that he has no elbow pads or knee pads is a little like.
I was going to say, except for maybe just having the pants, the sports
thing. And white boots as well. That's a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he had like some knee and elbow pads, he'd probably look a bit better.
Yeah,
he'd look like a superstar.
Yeah, but like this guy never gets picked up or anything, and you just watch him job at 93, and then like, I don't know whatever happened to the guy. I think that's what Google is for, isn't it?
It is what Google is for.
Look up this guy. Big guy. Okay, Pro Wrestling Wiki. Let's check him out. What happened to this guy? Look, he's got big legs.
Or about Backlund there.
Running a real simple match with Backlund here. Backlund telling him to slow the fuck down. Bob Backlund is an era of wrestling that I didn't pay attention to. There was no reason.
I agree with you there.
There was no reason for me to pay attention to it. Oh, tried the hip toss, goes right into the abdominal stretch. And then lets it go for some reason.
But Bob Backlund was more like in that shooter era where it was more quote unquote real. But it was more based on amateur wrestling and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was what Backlund did. I don't know. Backlund does these weird dances and stuff too that always like weird me out. I don't know why. But Bob Backlund may be my least favorite WWE champion of all time.
Yeah, I found nothing on Tony DeMoro.
Yeah, I'm really finding nothing on Tony DeMoro here.
He was lost to time.
Just his Pro Wrestling Wiki page is Tony DeMoro was an American professional wrestler. That's like all they have of this guy. What happened to him?
To do a documentary, what happened to Tony DeMoro?
Yeah. It's like, that's it. And then I'm like, Tony DeMoro on Ancestry.com. Like, this guy doesn't exist. I don't know what happened, but he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Great physique. I mean, he's not having a great match here, but
Uh,
Bob Backlund's like a good chain guy, and he's not. So
yeah. Yeah. You can definitely see his deficiencies here. You can
yeah,
tell
I mean,
he's a bit winded
yeah.
after that exchange. He's blown up a bit. You can just tell in his face.
So Tony Demoro here on the Internet Wrestling Database. He wrestles. He never wins a match here. He wrestles Backlund, then Ludwig Borga, then Doink the Clown, and then he tags with Joey Maggs versus Rougeau and Ouellette, and then tags with Todd Matta versus Bart and Billy Gunn, and that's like the end of it, man.
Okay.
That's his career.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's that one guy in the crowd that has that Bob Backlund shirt, and he's like eating this all up.
That's an old school shirt, too.
That is.
And I don't mean to sound like, it's a nice little pin combination there. I don't mean to sound racist, but I wouldn't think that it's the black guy who's a huge Bob Backlund fan.
Right?
Like, that seems a little.
Seems like an odd thing.
Yeah.
And it's fun, you know, that shirt, that old school shirt, those are like back in style now.
Yeah, they are.
Get a lot.
I have one I got to make. It's an old school shirt like that. That I'm not going to say because I don't want anyone to steal my idea.
Yourself. You can tell me after we stop recording.
I'll tell you after. But I have a shirt like that I want to make. All right, so B Team Paul Heyman here, interviewing Rick Martel, and I still don't
Not
get
Paul Heyman.
I said B Team Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I still don't get if Rob Bartlett is a heel, is he a face? I don't get.
He's both. I think he doesn't know.
Yeah, do people not like him?
I don't think people like him.
Yeah.
But maybe some do. I really don't get Rob Bartlett.
I've never got Rob Bartlett, and the nice thing is like Rob Bartlett doesn't last very long.
No, he'll be gone soon.
He should be gone now. Oh, a lot of promos on this episode.
Yeah, there are.
Very promo heavy, and Rick Martel calling out Mr. Perfect. Oh, he's wrestling Mr. Perfect.
Oh,
all right. Well, now I'm excited.
see some good stuff here.
I'm actually excited for this match. So the weird thing is, like, I don't know if he wears this very often, but Boat Captain Rick Martel might be my least favorite Rick Martel.
The ascot though is on point.
I'm not a big Boat Captain Martel.
Dude, I loved Rick Martel's music.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal.
So awesome.
It was phenomenal. The whole character was really. Now he comes back with like a weird haircut, doesn't he? Later on,
I think so. Well, I know he comes back because he's
he fused with
part of
Razor.
the Intercontinental title stuff.
Yeah, he fused with Razor. I remember his hair being like, what the hell's going on with Rick Martel's hair? Boy, I loved Kurt Hennig. Always weird to see. It's always weird to see Hennig as a babyface, though. Like, he's just such a great heel.
Really is, yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to think of just beautiful. I'm trying to think of another example of a guy that you're like seeing like Ted DiBiase as a babyface.
Yeah, that's kind of weird too.
It's just weird. Like, it shouldn't be that way. You know, it's Mr. Perfect. He's such a great like heel. But Hennig does a great job as a babyface. Don't get me wrong.
Because he's perfect.
Yeah, I do think that naturally, guys are better one way or the other.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
there's just a natural ability. You very rarely find a guy like Shawn Michaels who was really great at both, or The Rock was really great at both. You know, guys usually have that one good. You know, they really feel one way or the other. You know, like Flair to me was a heel.
Yeah, I agree.
Flair wasn't.
He was never great as a babyface.
And same as like Sting isn't a heel.
Yeah.
Triple H actually does both pretty well. I'll give him credit. That was a really great little exchange to start that match, by the way.
But you think about it too, the guys that were really good about it are guys towards the top.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Now, if you can do both, you are some of the best of all time. Like even Brett, as great as Brett is, Brett was never a great heel.
Although I really did like his heel run.
I love Brett's heel run. Don't get me wrong, but it was I love great little sequence there.
But Austin could go both ways too because he was a great heel before he broke out as Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, Austin was definitely great at both. Jericho was another guy great at both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially
Jericho having all that time in the company, and then in 2008 does that big heel turn and still gets a ton of heat.
Yeah. And beautiful. Beautiful.
That was awesome.
Martel, and this is such a great match because these guys have wrestled a lot. Throughout their entire lives, they've wrestled a lot. And they know each other really well. Great. See a great transition to start. Yeah. See, and that's something they called, obviously. They called this beginning. And that's fine. And then the backup. Beautiful.
There are certain guys that can just call stuff, and it seems like it's more of a lost art these days, too.
Yeah, so they called, I guarantee that spot with the cartwheels and stuff, they called in the back. They were like, okay, let's do this. But probably now, this stuff probably, they'll probably we'll just get to a cutoff.
They'll walk and talk.
Yeah, they'll walk and talk here. Now, because they're getting to the cutoff.
Guys call it in the ring. Not a lot of guys can call it in the ring anymore.
No. So now they everything. They probably called a little bit in the back, and then just because that's a spot you call in the back. You just don't do that on the fly. But now this is all in the ring. They probably called nothing else except they probably
called the opening and the finish.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, and they may have called a double down. And that's there's not a lot of guys who call it in the ring anymore when you say that, but there's now an established formula with guys where there's a lot of guys who do call it in the ring that I know of, but what they'll do is they'll call the beginning of they won't call the whole shine, but they'll call a little bit of some story stuff, and then they may call a cutoff to get to the heat. None of the heat is called. They'll call a move for the double down, and then they may call the finish. Usually, you'll know what the finish is, but they may call a couple falsies in there or something like that. But majority, a lot of guys are still, even in this era of calling a lot, there's a lot of improv still to it.
You still do have to be able to improv.
Absolutely. I don't know anyone that isn't under a year green that calls a heat. Yeah. That's still a pretty. Yeah, I love this with Parker. Where are you going, Kurt? You're not going up there. No, this is clear. They called this for a commercial break.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is a very lost thing on the indies. You won't see that. Guys don't think about that.
Oh, definitely, and maybe they need to in a sense.
Even if you have a TV product, usually they are not breaking during matches during TV product on the indies. So guys don't really know that. But once you get onto a certain level, you got to learn.
You got to learn cameras, where the cameras are, how to
Some guys, I think I mentioned this once time on the podcast before. I was listening to Austin talk to Chris Daniels. And Daniels was talking about first thing he does when he gets in the building, he talks, he's like, where's the hard camera so I can work the hard cam? And Steve goes, you work the cameras? He's like, I always work the cameras. I got to find the cameras and work. And Steve goes, I never work the cameras. And you think about it,
yeah,
they're fine in Austin.
Oh yeah.
They had when he worked in his prime when he was the best. He worked for WCW and he worked for WWF, and those cameras found him.
Yeah.
So it's different in that respect. Now they work.
Also, it's different on that level too because they have a full production staff where there are multiple cameras, so one
and a
of them will
director.
pick you up. Whereas, like on an indie promotion, you probably have two cameras.
Yeah,
so.
And you can't trust either camera person. And you have a director who's live switching and who's looking at 10, 12, maybe more camera shots that he can call out. Okay, let's cut to here. Let's cut to there. Oh, that shot's going to be good. And he can preload guys too,
Yeah.
Where, you will tell a camera guy, hey, start moving over to here so that I can get this shot when I cut and things like that. So that's completely different.
It's definitely a production on a way bigger scale.
Yeah. So like, if you have a guy in a camel clutch in the indies, you're probably going to have to work the hard cam because that roaming person is going to have to come all the way to you to get that face shot. Or you'll work to them to get that shot, where on this level, you just put the camel clutch on really, and you wait for them to call the camera to you. They'll come to you. There's like 3 guys on the outside that will find you.
Yeah, exactly.
This
is a really good match.
It really is. Look at Kurt Hennig's dry hair too. He suffered from Dolph Ziggler dry hair.
Yeah, it's funny how much Dolph Ziggler is more like his son than
Axel is. Yeah. Wow, they're going 2 commercial breaks on this. And see, they keep going like the hopes are during the right before the commercial break.
Wait, did he just win during the commercial break?
I think he did.
Wow. I can't believe they cut it like that because obviously these are taped.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they cut it with a commercial break in between. I like that. But I was going to say, notice the hopes are right before the commercial breaks to keep you coming back.
Yeah.
To keep you like, he's beating him up. I want to see him beat him up. Come back. And then when you come back, usually it's the heels on top, and then you're like, oh, geez. That's not what I wanted to see. Now I got to keep watching. I think some of them, the Lex Luger's coming up here. Boy, I like that's a great promo, Randy Savage, but don't you get ruined that whole bag of chips.
Yeah, those chips are probably delicious.
Yeah, dude. I don't think you should be ruining chips while we're trying to put a headlock on hunger.
Oh man, all these games.
I did not have. I played WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. That is one I played. Oh, so now he's bringing the girls back out.
I'll probably just throw it in the model's face.
Who brings a giant poster to I don't understand people.
That person apparently.
Yeah, I don't understand people. What's the odds I can find myself a WWF cameraman jumpsuit?
I'd imagine that'd probably be pretty tough. I would think. I don't know.
A blue 90s cameraman jumpsuit. Boy, those are some 90s looking women.
Yeah.
Bangs were popular, folks.
Bangs were
Kamala in action next week.
Heck yeah, Kamala.
Yeah. What else we got? Razor Ramon in action? Typhoon versus Bam Bam Bigelow? Come on.
I can't wait.
Who's not excited for this?
I can't wait.
It's a weird way to end Raw, by the way. He just patted that girl on the ass. Did you see that?
He's Mr. Perfect. He can do what he wants.
I guess so.
All right, guys. That was episode 8 of Monday Night Raw, and we talked about production.
I would say outside of Hennig and Rick Martel, it's a pretty weak episode.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Not a whole lot going on there. A lot of squashes. This is a very squash heavy. Though we are in like the road to WrestleMania here, so we can't really like do anything big.
Yeah.
You're saving everything up. So Yeah, I didn't really not a great episode, but a nice hidden gem. If you're looking for a great classic wrestling match, there.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
That was good stuff on that front. It was good to see the model Rick Martel in action.
Yeah, we won't see a whole lot of him for a while, but he'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of them in the Raw era, unfortunately.
Yeah, not a lot actually. I think he goes to WCW at some point.
I believe that is correct.
And has a good run there as well.
Which maybe we'll see him on some Monday Nitros once we get to that point.
I hope so.
So, all right, guys. Well, that was episode 8 of Monday Night Raw. It's been a while since we've done this part of it, so
yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Check out all our podcasts on spiderduck.net.
Yeah, that's still a place.
Still a place. We do podcasts. I have a new podcast.
What are you doing?
It's called The Daily Diatribe. It's a daily 15-minute to half an hour podcast where I just talk about whatever the hell I want. So,
oh wow, that's
ambitious. Although I haven't been doing it every day. I've done I've done 4 episodes out of the first week. So,
oh well, that's better than I'm doing. Because the Nerdberg podcast went on a hiatus with me moving and Matt Connard moving and everyone. We do have an episode recorded. I hope to have it up soon because I just remembered today by talking to Trevor and doing a podcast that we recorded an episode a while ago. That's just been sitting in my queue to actually put out there. So I will do that. But follow me, Twitter, at MarkMan6 or at MarkMan or MarcusMan 2 N's BHS. Those are my 2 Twitters. I'm active-ish on both. I think if I just went to one Twitter, I'd be more active.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I separate them because I'm an idiot. And find me on Facebook, MarcusMan 2 N's. That's all I'm plugging, Trevor.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter at Trevor Oz, like the Wizard of with an S in the middle. Last name there, OSZ.
I think you made it more confusing.
Probably. But yeah. Trevor OSZ.
Okay.
Follow me. I tweet about everything.
Yeah.
Not just professional wrestling. So.
Yeah. There's some nerd culture in there.
Yeah, there's a good bit of it in there, and also part of the Spider Duck Network. The Indie Luchador is now streaming daily, so check that out on twitch.tv/Indie Luchador.
I should probably get into streaming, but I just probably play baseball, and I don't think people want to watch that.
I mean, if you had a lot of interesting things to say, they would.
Really?
Yeah, probably. There's probably.
I don't know. Maybe I should just play baseball and talk politics and see if people will watch it.
Getting political with Marcus.
Yeah, well, I play baseball. Can I have
baseball and politics with Marcus Miller?
I've done it on Twitch before. Can I have someone else get in on the talking? Can I talk to people?
Yes, you can have people, and you can just get people in your party.
Oh,
and you could talk. Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome time.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Maybe Matt Connor and I will play WWE and Twitch it and talk.
That's a good idea.
Look for that, but don't look real hard.
It may happen at some point in the future. Maybe.
All right.
Potentially.
This is going out. I'm assuming. What date, Trevor?
This will be out on Monday the 11th.
Monday the 11th. All right. Well, the only thing I will plug is May 30th in McKeesport. Check out Berg Brawl. It's one of our biggest shows. It's our Royal Rumble at PWX. So if you like the Royal Rumble and you like wrestling, May 30th, Berg Brawl, second biggest show of the year. Come check it out. PWXTV.com. That's my only plug. All right, I'll plug Black Diamond Wrestling on the 16th. Yeah, there you go. You did it.
Yeah. So
Is that Sistersville?
no, that is Martin's Ferry. That is our next big show. So
That is Martin's Ferry.
yeah, everybody should come out and see that and see what happens with the Black Hand Society and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, jerks.
yeah, I hate them.
All right. Well, thanks for getting it back in the swing of things here, Trev.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna have more episodes for you. Thanks for listening. See you later. That's gonna leave a mark.